When the United Nations Secretary General visited Damascus, reporters pressed for answers on a crisis building since the fall of the Assad government. Israel has conducted repeated military operations inside Syrian territory, incursions the UN says its forces are actively working to contain. At this press conference, a journalist demands the Secretary General explain what new measures the United Nations plans to stop the violations.
My question to Mr. Secretary General Guterres. Israel continues to carry out military incursions into Syria.
Sorry a moment, as you are talking in English, I prefer to put my device.
Sorry. I said my question to Secretary General Guterres. Israel continues to carry out military incursions into Syrian territory. What conjunct step will the United Nations take to ensure respect for Syria's sovereignty? And the second question, are there any new UN measures to stop these violations?
Well, first of all, we have a very clear position in relation of the need to maintain the territorial integrity of Syria and against any violation of that territorial integrity, and a demand that all those violations cease. At the same time, our force on the ground is doing its best to minimize the consequences of the permanent violations by Israel in relation to the situation on the ground and to support the populations in this very difficult situation. This is a matter in which I believe the international community needs to be much more proactive. And I believe that there are serious responsibilities, inclusive of the Security Council, that has the body, that has the responsibility to maintain peace and security in the world. We consider that the present situation is intolerable and that that situation needs to stop.
نورس العرفية الإخبارية السورية. سؤالي لمعالي الوزير الشيباني. معالي الوزير، تحدثتم بمعرض حديثكم قبل قليل بأن الأمم المتحدة كانت تصف سوريا بأنها مأساة العصر، واليوم سوريا تستقبل الأمين العام للأمم المتحدة، وهذا إن دل على شيء فيدل على التطور الكبير والخطى الحثيثة إلى الأمام. ما الخطوات المأمولة من الأمم المتحدة لدعم سوريا في المرحلة المقبلة؟ وشكرا لكم.
نعم، تحدثنا قبل قليل من خلال الكلمة أننا نريد أن يكون هناك دور دعم لسوريا من خلال الأمم المتحدة. ونعتقد أن السيد الأمين العام لديه موقف تاريخي شخصي عندما لم يقبل أن يصطفي الأجانب النظام البائد وأن يضفي الشرعية على النظام البائد، وهذا يحسب له على الإرث الشخصي وسيشهده السوريون خلال في عقولهم وأيضا ذاكرتهم. اليوم ماذا تريد سوريا حقيقة في هذه المرحلة؟ تريد دعم من جميع المجتمع الدولي، ليس فقط الأمم المتحدة، الدول، المجتمع الدولي، الاتحاد الأوروبي. من يريد أن يرى نموذجا ناجحا في هذه الفترة عليه أن يقف إلى جانب سوريا. من قصر في الماضي وخذل الشعب السوري لديه فرصة حاليا للمشاركة في المرحلة الحالية التي يشهدها السوريون في إعادة بناء بلدهم. حقيقة هناك من خلال السيد الأمين عام، من خلال الوكالات هناك تفهم كبير جدا وأيضا إدراك للواقع السوري بصورته الحالية بما يخالف طبعا الظروف التي كانت أثناء الحرب. نحن نبني على هذه ما سمعناه اليوم، وأيضا نبني على سياسة العمل التي بدأت منذ عام ونصف من دعم يعني متكرر لجميع وكالات الأمم المتحدة، وأيضا حتى في مجلس الأمن هناك دعم كبير جدا لسوريا. نريد أن نبني على هذه المواقف، وأيضا نريد أن نتوج بما يمس حاجة الناس، وأيضا بما ينعكس على تحسين الواقع المعيشي في سوريا وإعادة بناء سوريا وإعادة عودة جميع اللاجئين السوريين وعودة النازحين إلى بلدهم وقراهم بعزة وكرامة. وأيضا
The first exchange established the Secretary General's clear position on Israeli incursions. The second pushes into deeper ground. A Syrian journalist invokes Resolution 497, passed, he notes, 46 years ago, which declared Israel's occupation of the Golan Heights null and void. Since then, President Trump formally recognized Israeli sovereignty over the plateau. The journalist demands to know what concrete guarantees, if any, the UN can now offer.
46 years after Resolution 497 declared Israel's annexations of the occupied Syrian Golan Heights null and void, the Syrian people seek to live in security and peace. After US President Trump officially recognized Israel's sovereignty over the Golan Heights, my question, today, what message do you bring to Damascus? What concrete guarantees can you provide to the Syrian people that their rights to live in peace and security will be protected? And final question, and Golan will be returned. Thank you.
Well, I have not the power to do all these things just by touching the fingers. But first of all, I consider that it is very important to maintain a clear position in all the bodies of the United Nations, and indeed the United Nations recognizes such without limitations, that the Golan Heights belong to Syria. And at the same time, to condemn all the violations that are being perpetrated at the present moment. We have a difficulty, let's be clear. The organ that was supposed to address these questions effectively is the Security Council. And the Security Council has geopolitical divides that are known. And there's also a problem of legitimacy, as its composition no longer corresponds to the realities of the world of today. And the use of the power of the veto has avoided in many circumstances the actions that would be necessary to make sure that international law is respected. But we will not give up, and we will maintain firmly our position and our strong advocacy for the international community to recognize that what is Syrian and cannot be taken away. Just a moment, let me put my system.
The United Nations Secretary General left Damascus with a clear message and no enforcement tools to back it up. The Security Council's geopolitical deadlock, sharpened by Trump's Golan decision, means those words carry moral weight but no mechanism for change, at least for now. Watch this space. This is the DC brief.